So my name is Yefeng, and I'm a new media artist, interdisciplinary artist. I work at RIC as an assistant professor, teaching digital media curriculum, and this is my work.
So where did you first conceive of this project?
Well, this particular one, the title is Moscow Has Nice Weather. So earlier this year I was taking a flight by Aeroflot, the Russian airline company, so from Shanghai to Berlin. And it's inspired by this trip, basically. And in their cargo, you have these small personal entertainment screen for each passenger, installed in front of you. And they actually have a function to show the ambient scene, ambient view of around the plane. So I found that was really fascinating. So I was just sitting in my seat and holding my camera, holding my phone, keep taking the footage of that. And as you can see, the background of these videos are actually taken by my iPhone of that footage, yeah.
So which part is the 3D animation? So this image, for example, right now.
Exactly, yeah. So the two planes are appropriation of a quite famous film, actually, from the 1980s, if I remember right, called Airplane. That's like a satire, depicting weird stories happened in the airplane, things like that. And it's just pretty relevant to the idea because, these two little poems you are seeing here are two poems I wrote about the uncertainties in your when you're traveling. So, this work itself actually deals with the uncertainty, and how you contemplate about it, actually.
Uncertainty sort of before our current times, or uncertainty that's related to what we're all going through right now?
Oh, now it's definitely related. Yeah, but in my work, I have always been interested in this idea, of how do you kind of establish your subjectivity in the context of instability and instability, as a migrant myself, the idea of like traveling and finding home, so all these things are kind of like ontological problems for me, instead of just, you travel from one point to another point, it's not a trivial task, so things like that. And of course, you come to the realization that home is not it's not a physical location, right? It's something ontological. But this piece actually, it happened just right before the outbreak of the virus, and then everything happened and I found it really relevant, which is kind of interesting.
And I see in the video itself that you kind of play with the different video formats in the sense that you can really see the lines of the frame rate. Is that something that was intentional or something that just sort of happened when you were filming?
It's something, it's just like a natural part, actually, when you are filming with with my phone, actually, and the screen, I believe, installed in the cargo has a different frame rate, so I just kept it as is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is what it is, so.
And the music, it's very meditative.
Mm-hmm. So I did that music. I think I slowed down some kind of like ambient sound and just to have it go with the videos. It is meant to be meditative, to make the viewers, also the repetitive movement of the animation and the poems and text in the video. I'm kind of like hoping to, when you see the piece, you're going to be thinking about this really real idea of uncertainty and what does it mean. It can be usually when we perceive this idea of uncertainty, you put yourself in instability or instability, and might not be such a good thing. But at the same time, I want to kind of pose this idea, maybe uncertainty itself can be a breeding ground for new creativities as well. Because you don't know what's going to happen next, so you're always in the act of becoming.
Can you talk a little bit about the installation space itself? I know that this exhibition is online only, so people won't be able to experience it. So what are they missing out on by not being able to?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, so you work with the space you have, right, and do the best. I think it works in this case.
Is it important for viewers to be able to see both screens simultaneously? I know in a previous installation you had something similar, but the screens were back to back. So how does it change now that you can see both screens together?
Oh, it definitely creates a more immersive environment for the viewers, I would say, together with the sound and everything. And also, when I use text in my videos, I always use multilingual text, like a poem is actually a bilingual poem. And then you have footages on both sides as well, you know. So that's that. And originally when this piece was installed in a different place, I have these two screens back to back. You know, so that kind of simulates the kiosk when you run into, you know, when you go to an airport, you have like these informative kiosks. So that's kind of like one of the reasons why I decided to make a dual channel video installation for this piece.
Would you be able to recite the poem that's
I
being...
can read it.
Yeah?
Try to, yeah. It's actually straightforward. So the one on the left says, Moscow, you know, it actually quoted what I heard from the air attendant when she was, you know, announcing that Moscow has nice weather. That's where I had my connection to Berlin. And she's gonna tell you that Moscow has nice weather, but when you take a peek outside of the window, it's clearly dark cloud underneath, you know, so it's just, again, related to this idea of uncertainty. Yeah, but I can try to read it. So the first one is pretty straightforward. It says, when it comes back, it says Moscow for good weather, even with the black cloud underneath, Shanghai for good weather, even with terrible PM 2.5, something like that, you know. And the one on the right actually is more like a personal thing that, you know, I wrote for myself, you know, because I always like driving instead of flying. And I actually prefer walking more than driving. So if I can drive to somewhere, I definitely won't take a flight. If I can drive across the Pacific Ocean, I would drive instead of fly. So yeah, so the second poem is just something about that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, thank you.